Like Japan has like it's not even just Japan. Everywhere that's not the United States has different norms and culture. And what's becoming a really stupid trend, and Logan Paul is kind of one of the people that started this trend, is nuisance streamers that go places just to fucking cause problems.
Didn't we just recently talk about one of those streamers that got arrested?
Yeah, he's actually full on charged in South Korea now. I was watching another one about like actually no, I was watching who the fuck was it that I watched talk about what recently? I can't remember which individual I watched talking about it, but there was one that was talking about the guy that shot a guy in the mall and got off, and like, oh, it wasn't okay. Here's what it was. It was actually a comedy stand-up that talked about this. That's why it's in my mind right now. Because it was a comedy special. Guy was talking about the Mike Tyson Logan Paul fight, and he was trying to explain how Jake Paul came up through like YouTube stardom and doing shit to catch people's attention and grow from there, right?
Yeah.
And he brought up how this one dude sat here and was annoying the hell out of somebody in a mall and kept on getting in his face with the phone, and the guy shot him. And then like the news is interviewing this cat, and his dad's mad because people are sitting here saying his son deserved it, and like the news asks him, "How do you feel about being shot over this? Do you feel that it was an overreaction?" And like the dude was like, "Nah, it is what it is. Like it's part of the game." And I'm like, at least he doesn't hold any ill will for him fucking around and finding out. Like,
Right.
I can respect that. Like, okay, you understood you did some stupid shit. You don't regret it, but you understand, like, you're not mad at the person that shot you for doing stupid shit to them. Okay, I don't like the fact that you do stupid shit, but I can at least, like, respect the fact that you don't blame the person for shooting you. You understand that, and I'm not condoning any of this. Like, mind you, like I don't think anybody should be shot for anything, but I don't like these nuisance streamers because at a lot of point in time, what they're doing is they are getting into people's personal space. They're making unknown movements. People don't know what their intentions are. Like the world's a fucked up place.
And then they want to wonder, hey, why are you being aggressive, or why are you resorting to violence? Like, stop being a douche.
Yeah, like a nuisance streamer like should never be anywhere near me. Ugh. Like they would not have a good time, especially if they invade my personal space. Now they just want to be yelling, but like I hate the ones that sit here and start doing stuff and just like not necessarily being aggressive with their touching, but are touching you all the time. Like, hey.
Right.
Like that would just be my go-to reaction. Like, get that shit out of my face. Like I would Beerus Bulma, just like bam, fuck you doing in my face, and no Vegeta's coming to save you.
Right.
Like nuisance streamers as a whole, I don't know what like. I know why, and it kind of saddens me because there's the only reason it is what it is because there's a sick side of humanity that does enjoy seeing people being fucked. There's people that enjoy being bullies vicariously. Mind you, there's also those that see it and they're using it to address these issues and be like, oh, but like at that point in time, when you sit here and point to that video and show more people that video, you're like, some of these people are monetizing this content, and I like. There's a consensus from a lot of YouTubers and other streamers that That shit needs to be cracked down on. Like, because if you're gonna sit here and monetize somebody doing stupid shit, harassing, insulting people, doing stuff that is clearly wrong, and really doing it, not doing it as like a skit or an act, not doing it with the blessing of people, but just going to foreign countries and being a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Like, the platforms need to demonetize these people and have repercussion. And like, if that doesn't slow them down, ban their ass. Like, I'm really tired of people in general that think that for whatever reason they can treat other people poorly because they're not like them, because they don't think like them, whatever the case may be. We're
Yeah.
at a time that that's just some bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, I can understand like having like, oh, I don't like this, I don't like like having those, but like to go out of your way to harass people, to go out of your way to like, there's just no like, especially in like places like Japan and Korea where there's so much better things you could be doing than fucking harassing people.
And why do you want to fuck around and find out in Korea? Like, come on now.
Yeah, like they might fuck around and drop you off on the north side of the border.
Right? Like Japan's one thing, like they have whatever consequences they'll give you over there, but Korea is a different place.
Foreign countries pops up, like dating in foreign countries, um, racism and nationalism in certain countries. Like Japan actually has places where you can't go in if you're not Japanese. If you don't like, there's some like if you don't speak Japanese, you can't go in. And there's some that you can go in if you have a Japanese escort.
Well, that makes sense.
Like, I'm like, oh, dude, that's kind of. And actually, no. Apparently, there were like one of the signs I saw like was like no Filipino. I'm like, damn, Japan just don't give a fuck. Like, we don't want you here. Like, if I went to Japan, I couldn't do a bathhouse because you couldn't do a bathhouse either. I don't think. Oh, actually, no. You like, there's certain places we wouldn't be able to do because of our go into, like, I wouldn't be able to with my tattoos visible.
Really? They care about
Yeah,
tattoos as much as tattoos are a part of their culture?
yeah, but it's also, if you notice in their culture, like a lot of them wear suits, and like it always stops at the suits.
Yeah.
Like, it's also because Americans, like people from other countries, not just at this point in time with Nuisance streamers, like, and like, I don't think it's anything new. Like what Nuisance streamers are doing per se. I think it's just getting exposed because some idiots are dumb enough to record themselves doing it.
Yeah.
And like at that point, I understand why most of the world fucking hates us. I do at that point. I'm like, so at this point in time, as from an American from Texas, from the great state of Texas, now down in South Central, as T pointed out the other day, I want y'all to know, American come over there to your country fucking around, make them find out. Make them find out.
Yeah. A
You
lot of them
hear?
are entitled. They need to find out.
Like, they went around to your home and decided to fuck around. They can find out.
Yeah. Basically, it boils down to if they're big enough to fuck around, they're big enough to find out.
Like, yeah, like, and actually, like, what irks me is because like some of these like look really young, but like they might be of age, but like for the ones that might not be of age, I'm like, what the fuck are your parents?
Yeah. For those parents that are younger than us, it basically boils down to. I mean, of course, older generations may dispute what I say, but I think the first quarter or half of the millennial generation is okay. The second half or whatever is the ones that became like really bad behaved, entitled, and all that stuff because it goes a lot into because they may have got mistreated and beat by their parents, and their parents were probably done the same by their parents. And it's just each generation is like, oh well, I'm not going to do that to my kid, and now we just got a bunch of sissies running around.
Like if I ever move, like if I ever decide to move from the United States of America, like the first thing I'm gonna be looking into, like aside from ganja, like I need my ganja. Um, the next thing I'm gonna look into: can I spank my kids? And if the country says what you do, like if you discipline, how you discipline your kids is none of our fucking business. Fucking a.
Now there are some exceptions when it comes to that, but for the large part, government needs to stay out of family affairs.
Like, yeah, if somebody's beating, like, just like dog walking their kid in the front yard, that's a different. Like, I'm talking about whipping their ass, like 3 or 4 strikes. All right, you learned your lesson. Now go think about it. I'm not talking about like, why you little downright useless waste of my life.
Right, like Homer Simpson,
Yeah, like this is where I think our society's gone out of pocket on both sides. We don't understand. We can do things gradually. We don't have to just like don't do. We shouldn't do this. Like this should not be our go-to. Like is thinking the solution for every scenario? No, but there are some scenarios where kids need their ass beat to make them a proper functioning adult. That's not how. Like, do you know why I never committed like really heinous crimes? Because I was worried my mama would beat my ass.
and probably if not your mama, then maybe an uncle or grandparent.
Like my grandmama would beat my like yeah somebody would be beating my ass. So you know what my ass did? My ass kept my outlawing ways to being a rebel with very fine lines I would not cross into like severe felonies.
Yeah.
With the exception of that one time, but like I think I want to wait another 3 years before we talk about that for statute of limitations because I can't remember exactly what year that was, and yeah, we don't like that incriminates like 5 of us. But that's neither here nor there. The point is, society needs to understand we don't ever like. It's rare that we need to take a bold step in any direction. We need to like sit here and take a step and test the waters. Like, for instance, I have no problems with the trans community whatsoever. Children, like once they're 18, they have a choice. Like, they want you to call them what like. Okay, cool. We'll respect that you feel this way, but until the choice is made, like we're not going to allow you to make that choice until you're 18.
Right.
Like anything after that, I don't care. Aside from men should not be in women's sports. Period. Like if
Well,
that's one thing that you're giving up if you're
on that
transitioning.
note, it is very strange that women, all feminists always scream about they're being oppressed, they're being oppressed, and a lot of these are letting men who feel like they're women into their bathrooms, dressing rooms, whatever. Like, where are y'all now?
Well, no. See, if they've gone through the transition, I don't care if they're in what fucking dressing room they're in. Actually, here's the better part. I don't even think that bathrooms should be separated by fucking gender. I really don't.
Well, I've heard of debate about that before, but the issue with that is there are bad people who make rules necessary.
No. That's because we put such a stigma on shit. If we make certain shit the norm, like, hey, we just have a bathroom. Anybody can use it, whatever. It would, like, and we weren't having everybody learn about porn or fucking sex from fucking porn. Like, it's not that there's bad people. There's people, like, there's bad people raising people. People that suck at raising people.
Well, when
Is
I
really
say
what it is.
bad people, I mean bad people that don't care if you tell them no, and force you to do what they want. Like if you're in the same bathroom, let's say you just happen to be by yourself, and then whether you're guy or girl or whatever you say you are, and then another person walks in and be like, "Hey, I'm going to do this to you," and there's not a damn thing you're going to do about it.
That
It's those people that ruin it for the rest of us.
but here's the problem with that. Like, people are acting like men have never followed women into a restroom and done some shit like that in the first place. Because
Yeah,
they have.
it's happened regardless.
Like, so at that point, if they're if there's no gender division in the bathroom, there's a lot more chance of the next person walks in, sees that shit, beats that person's ass, and helps that person.
True, but what's to
A
say
woman
that
walks
there's
in
not a
on that.
sufficient amount of time that passes before anybody walks in?
A woman does is that though. She can end up the next victim and locked in there with them both.
The other side of that is, well, what about children? Because a lot of people are very protective of children, and there are a lot of perverts out there who try to prey on children. That's
Okay,
I
children
think.
don't go to children shouldn't be going to the bathroom unattended in public places anyway.
Well, that's true.
Like, so that argument right there is just like null and void at that point. Like, at that point, like if a kid went to the bathroom alone like that in a public place, like, I'm not gonna blame the kid. I'm gonna blame the fucking parent, and I'm gonna blame the parent more than I blame the actual attacker because what the fuck's wrong with you? Right? Like, you're in a public place and you know how people are. Like, but we have so many dividing factors, so many standards. Like, if we started tearing some of these down, a lot, I feel a lot of things would probably over time improve because it's like, you know what, this is like people are exposed to proper behavior. Like, at that point, the kid going into the bathroom with a group of girls and guys, like, oh, like, no, son, like, this isn't like everybody, like, especially it would get over the whole thing that people like the whole thing of guys freaking out of girls farting and shitting and shit. It admits that real early, like, hey, everybody does it. Like, the risks that you list are already existent. I feel they
Right, but
wouldn't
it's
increase.
it's what the people are focusing on that I hear. And
Yeah, but like as I stated, people focus on stupid shit, and then on top of that, most people don't even know what the fuck they're talking about when they're focused. Like, people don't educate them. Like, they hear trigger words and they don't ever actually look into the actual incident that they're talking about. You know?
yeah, well, the fact that there's a thing about trigger words is kind of ridiculous to begin with. Now, I can understand to the point, if you have some kind of trauma or PTSD, that's one thing. But if there ain't nothing wrong with you and you just flip your shit because someone says something you don't agree with,
Those aren't I'm talking about, like, yeah, I'm talking about. Not, I'm not talking about triggering from a traumatic. I'm talking about trigger words that are used now politically on both sides to garner an emotional response.
right. So people that just flip their shit because they hear a specific phrase or whatever that they don't agree with.
Or not necessarily flip their shit, but they hyper focus on that and none of the actual context.
Yeah.
Like, think a lot of what people are calling woke right now is woke. Like, it's not. It's actually sheep mentality. Being woke is being open minded and being aware to the social issue, the social and political environment trying to blind you on shit. So these people trying to say fight for certain shit that they're like, oh, we're doing like they're gonna like, no, y'all aren't woke. Shut the fuck up. Y'all are sheep fighting over trivial shit.
I think it also may stem back from the whole PC thing, political correctness. That when did that start? Back in middle school, high school, before that.
No, it's been like it's always been around. It's just what becomes politically unacceptable has evolved over time.
Yeah.
Like, really, there's gonna like eventually once I get everything planned out and organized, like what I want to do is kind of do. I don't want to tell people what to think. I want to inform. I want to teach people the actual things that they think they're talking about. Like help inform them on those topics.
Yeah.
Get the proper definition. Get actual examples of it, and show them from like help awaken people and let them make a decision from what they learn on actual factual data and have them make their choice off of that. That's actually going to be one of my test web app developments that I'm actually going to be doing. Is like I'm going to make I'm pretty much going to make an informative educational site. Like I'm going to do research. I'll do like a social word of the day, a political word of the day, etc., etc.
Yeah.
And the difference of a social use for a word and a political use for a word and such. But
So,
yeah,
in a sense, like a political vocabulary thing. With the,
I
like
wouldn't
whenever
say
you look up.
vocabulary per se, but it's more of a political and social literacy. It's not just I want them to know the word. I want them to understand what the fuck they're talking.
Right. So you introduce the word, you give the definition, and then you use examples of how it's used to understand the word.
Yeah, that plus like it'll be a bit more like that would be the vocabulary aspect, but there's also where I would give theoretical and practical examples
Yeah.
of how like it's also the step-by-step process of how certain stuff works, the cause and effect like because people are sitting here and like well the economy sucks. The economy doesn't actually suck. There's certain aspects of the economy that you're hurting on, but that's less to do with how the status of the actual economy is and
Yeah.
more to do with corporate greed.
Right.
Inflation's down to like 1.5%. Like inflation wasn't as bad as like everybody was making it out to be in the election.
Well,
And the
that
pro-
aside, a lot of people complained about the fact that uh, not necessarily inflation, but the fact that companies were inflating their prices, trying to claim, "Oh, it's inflation," when really they're just jacking up prices.
no, like that was an issue, but that was an issue. It wasn't an issue that people were complaining about because most people aren't informed enough to understand that. Because all these people were saying the economy is bad. No, these people's business practices were bad.
Yeah.
Like that's the difference. Like, see, this is where I like why I want the people to be educated. Because like it's not that the economy's bad; these people's fucking business practices are bad, and the
Yeah.
government's allowing them to go with them. And Trump is the guy that allowed them to do this in the fucking first place. So yeah, I think it's I
Well,
think certain
if it proves to be as bad of an idea as is being thought, then maybe he'll be smart enough to change course and do something different.
one can hope. Like I want to be clear. I really do not want anything that I fear to be true. Like the extremes down to even just him fucking shit up on like I would really love for him to succeed. I really would. Am I overly optimistic that he will and do good things for the country? No, I'm not. Like actually Steve hit me up sent me a message last night like and I just like I saw what it was. I'm like that's not how the government works. He's like, Trump's gonna dismantle the DEA and legalize weed. Okay, Trump just can't dismantle a full-on government agency that was brought on
Yeah,
by
I don't know how he
congressional
could.
acts. He
Yeah,
can't just create a department of the government either. Those all take on acts of Congress. Do you know why they take acts of Congress? Because Congress decides where the fucking money goes. Like, this is what I'm talking about people not being. And, like, the thing about it is, Steve's fucking. Like, he's not stupid. He might be ignorant, but he's not fucking stupid. Like, so for. Like, I'm like, bro. Like, He didn't say, "Oh, he wants to." He said he's gonna or he did. I'm like, good luck getting that through Congress. Good luck getting a government efficiency department through Congress, especially. You think Congress is gonna give them fucking money for that shit?
Yeah, we'll see.
Like, there's a like the one thing that irks me about this election is it just clearly shows that people don't actually understand how the government works, and off like the big problem is often the other side. Once one side a person picks a side, they don't actually listen to the other side. Like they don't like throughout the like everybody's like, oh, they ran on woke campaigns, and do you know what most Democrats ran on? Border security, bringing down cost of food. Like the shit that everybody says was important to them is what the ones that lost were talking about. So I'm just like, you can't say this is what's important to you and then vote for people that quite literally their entire campaign is just bashing the other person.
Right.
I get that that's part of politics is bash your opponent, but part of it should be having your own policies and merit to stand on. And I feel this election just proved that that's not the fucking case. Like there's certain and like I said, there's the political political illiteracy and social illiteracy and conflating social issues with political issues are a real big issue, big problem. Like there are social issues that yes, you might need to petition to the government for, but a lot of that should be done at the grassroots level and not just jump straight to being a political issue. It shouldn't be a political issue until you've gathered the support needed to make that happen to begin with. Like Black Lives Matter and Black Lives Matter, I feel like they're like my big issue with them is even with like I love what the idea of anonymous, but I don't like structureless organizations that don't have leaders. I don't mind if you have like a Hydra situation where one leader goes down, more activate, but you need somebody to be the face of an organization to give it credibility. Like Black Lives Matter was sitting here talking about we want this, and like no one knew who the fuck we're supposed to be listening. Then they start sprouting shit like defund the police when they should have been saying we need to reallocate police funding to better training.
Right.
Like they used poor wording for what they wanted. They didn't want take money. Like they just didn't want the police spending necessarily on military equipment without social training on how to not need the fucking military equipment. Like Black Lives Matter was one of those things of a good idea. Like the concept and the spirit of it was good. It's just it was poorly thought through. It had no it wasn't organized, and like for stuff like that, again, I feel that's a grassroots issue. You need to start having town halls, and you need to talk with your policing. Like our big problem with society nowadays is we lack community structure. We don't have communities.
Indeed. And that just stems to be a problem for the whole country. That's why I feel like perhaps crime would be lower if we came together as a community more and supported each other like we're supposed to.
And actually, I think that's also why Republicans hate immigrants so much.
What do you
Like
mean?
they have a sense of community. Like people, immigrants come over here and they have people back home, but they also have the other immigrants from home here, and they pull together. They pull their resources. Hey, let's start a business. Let's sit here and do that. Like they sit here and work together to come up. That's why. like that's why I feel whenever I hear someone talking hating about immigrants on any format, because like some people just complain about immigrants being here to take a job, whether they're here legal or illegal. Like they do something that we as Americans don't do, like enough. Not enough of us be like in within communities come together and be like, look, you have this skill, I have this skill, you have this resource, I have this. Like, let's do something with that. Let's make something more and do it together. Americans have the me mentality, and immigrants prove that that mentality doesn't like. There's better way. I feel, and that threatens a lot of the Republican rhetoric of immigrants. They're coming to like these motherfuckers came and started businesses and are paying more taxes than most U.S. citizens.
Well, I know that there are some people who just complain regardless, but I feel that some, at the very least, of these people aren't necessarily against all immigrants. It's just the ones that aren't going through the proper protocol.
No, no, no. There are those that like I'm not saying that all of the like I'm saying there's a small group of these people that just hate immigrants as fucking
Yeah,
theory, concept, whatever.
right.
Doesn't matter if they came illegally. If they're we bombed their country to shit and they need a place to stay. They don't care. Good riddance to them.
Yeah,
They're not an American, but at the same time, they don't want to help Americans come up.
right.
Like so, you see like where I'm getting at on the hypocrisy of it. Like of those people in particular, they don't
Right.
want to help people come up. They get mad at immigrants saying they're taking their jobs, and like yeah, some immigrants might come and have a job for a bit, but a lot of the times they build in with their community and then they network with the back home and they get and they have like a bodega or some shit. Like most of the immigrants that I have like okay, a lot of immigrants that I've met, especially ones from actual overseas and not just across the border. Because I had to reflect on that. I was like, I've met a lot of immigrants, and like a lot of them are from the open border, but I've also met a good chunk that are from the Middle East, from Asia, and you know what? They all have their own fucking business. Some cases, multiple. So people say like, because the people I'm talking about are the ones that like to say the immigrants are the poison of our nation's blood. Those kind of people are the people I'm specifically talking about in this.
Well, those kind of people are dangerous because this country was essentially built on immigrants.
Well, actually, that's something that I want to discuss at a later time. It's called the theory of intolerance, or the theory of tolerance, or the paradox of tolerance. In being tolerant, like we're taught to be tolerant to people that are intolerant, like
Right, because
behave
nobody
or
wants to take accountability. They always
like
want to shift blame to somebody else or something else or make excuses.
well, no, no, I'm talking about as like we don't ever want to sit here and call out people when they're doing shit. Like it's not even if they want to take out like us as people. Okay, for me, prime example when Trump mocked that disabled person at his rally when he first ran. I don't know how that wasn't the end for him. Like strength is how you treat those beneath you, and
Well, how did he mock him? I didn't
there was a
hear.
disabled man that like had he sat here and did it up on the fucking stand to mock the guy.
Well, I guess at that point, was the person coherent enough to understand, like, did they laugh or were they offended by it?
It's irrelevant. That behavior is unacceptable.
I mean, I get that, but since he didn't apparently receive backlash,
No, no, no. But that's my point. He didn't because people like to cheer this kind of thing, and that's the problem. That's the whole point of the discussion. him not getting backlash is the fucking problem, or enough backlash. That not ending him is the fucking problem. We don't call out bad behavior. We applaud it
Right.
because we think it's a movie. This is not a fucking movie. It's real life. And that becomes like we become so jaded by entertainment, and we get like for Trump, everybody makes excuses. Oh well, he's not a politician. He's a businessman, or no, he's a television star. I don't give a fuck who he is. His behavior is fucking unacceptable. I don't care what somebody like Jonathan Majors.
Was he actually convicted?
I do believe he got convicted. Like it wasn't like a heavy conviction. It was
But it
like he
still
didn't even,
screwed up his career.
yeah. But the point is, where's that energy when other people do it? Do fucked up shit. We all vilified Jonathan Majors and tore him down. When Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, people were half and half. Like, I don't give a fuck that Chris Rock said something about his wife. It was a fucking joke. At the at an award show, you know what they do? They go around the room and make jokes about fucking people.
Well, I think part of that controversy is the fact that, whenever he said that, Will laughed, and I think she may have as well, and then was like, no, I'm offended by this, or
No,
something of
She
that nature.
okay, like she had that, like when you get roasted laugh, but you're not happy that you just got roasted laugh.
Yeah.
She had that kind of laugh. Will had a heart, like Will was laughing his ass off. So for him to jump up and go, bullshit.
That's why I've heard people say that she gave him the look, and he went up there and did something.
Exactly, and I'm like, man, like she was fucking your son's friend. Make him go slap him.
Right? Like I love Will Smith has done a lot of great content, movies, shows, but I don't know what has been done to him that has just made him think that it's okay to live like that, be subjected to that.
My thing is I could shit happens. Sometimes we have bad moments, but this man did not sit here and his apology wasn't for Chris. Like his initial apology wasn't it was to the fans. He didn't apologize to Chris right off the bat, and then he sat here and he was trying to put it into a way to where Chris Rock felt forced. Like he was trying to pressure him to force the apology and open dialogue, and you're the grieving party. You're the party that did the grieving. You don't get to choose when he's ready to talk, and you don't get to choose if he accepts your apology. There's a lot that can be said and done for all of this.
I think the proper thing that he should have done was fired back and roasted him in return.
Yeah.
Because Will should be more than capable of popping off with something like that.
Yeah, or most importantly, I don't think Will should have been allowed to sit back down and enjoy the rest of that fucking show. I would have had him removed from the building, and they didn't want to have him arrested because they were afraid. Oh well, that might be racist. How's it racist? He slapped another black man. He assaulted another black man on national fucking television. There's no race. It is what it is. Did you see Chris Rock's stand-up where he addresses that? Selective outrage?
I think I didn't see the whole special. I think I saw a piece of it, and I really don't remember what he said.
Well, I loved it because his walk-off joke was pretty much everybody was like, well, why didn't you do anything? Why? He's like, my parents raised me not to fight in front of white people, damn it, and just walks off.
Oh, right, yeah.
And I'm like,
I actually remember that was kind of a common thing with black families is don't fight in front of the white people.
Perception, people for years, for generations, it's been black people are violent beasts, mindless beasts. So for black people on one hand, it's like we try not to like if you have to handle it's and it's not even just black people that do this. Like cultural, it's a cultural thing. We don't like any
Like,
culture doesn't want their dirty laundry in front of other fucking cultures.
right, right,
Like white people do it. Like it's all done in a certain way. It's just what it's. We all have different things. Like each culture has different crazy they want to keep away from the other culture.
right.
It's like what do we find acceptable to let the other cultures know? Like, and that's like I said, it's for every culture. And like honestly, if you haven't been able to watch the whole thing, I highly recommend it because he addressed. It's called selective outrage, and it's
Is it on
got a point.
Netflix?
Yeah,
All right.
it actually, if I remember correctly, it was the first thing that was actually it was recorded live for Netflix.
Okay.
Like it was done live at first. I watched it live, and like apparently they edited it one joke out because of something, and I was like, oh, you bitch. He addressed like it's called selective outrage, and he addressed like it's talking about what we've been part of what we've been talking about right now. People pick and choose like when they want to be outraged by something. Like they will give blame. They will burn one person at a stake and then put somebody else on a pedestal for doing the exact same fucking thing.
Yeah.
Like, and that tends to be an issue with society, and like there shouldn't be multiple tiered systems where certain people get one reaction for something and other people get like praise. That's what I'm upset about with a lot of things that have gone on over the last like, and it's not just Trump stuff. It's in general. There's a lot of people that've been getting away with shit for too long. Behaviors that everybody says is unacceptable um, when they're in civilized company, but apparently in the voter booth, it's perfectly fucking acceptable. Or if it's their favorite or preferred celebrity, it's perfectly well. That's different. It's always well. That's not the same thing, and that's a problem.
Right.
Like
I did hear that. I don't know if there's truth to it, but apparently they're going to try and pass where senators cannot stay in their whole life if they keep getting reelected.
that's not gonna like. The problem with them putting terms on congressmen is it has to get through fucking Congress.
Yes, and I agree. It would be difficult, but it needs to be done.
No, no, I'm not saying that it doesn't need to be done. I'm just thinking like people need to. You gotta. You can't say that that's what the like. You gotta slip that in by them. You gotta like or like I do believe there's other like if this like if the majority of the states vote on an issue, it has to become law. Like I do believe there's an alternative way that jumps around the need for Congress and even like maybe even the president.
Yeah, I think
Like I
you.
mean,
I think that does sound familiar. I think you need a majority vote.
yeah, like I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on this shit.
But I would think
Like
the state would have to agree with itself and get other states to agree.
yeah, like I think states can ratify shit.
That hasn't been done
It,
in a really long time, though.
yeah, like but
But yeah, I do. That does sound really familiar. That states can ratify if enough states get together.
like I said, we will do like I'm gonna do the like I have the one idea for the web app, so I'll do that. Then I'm gonna sit here and explain like with that through that we'll people will be able like hopefully be able to make more informed decisions. Will be more informed because as I'm learning this shit, I'm gonna throw shit to you and like I'm gonna have you help beta test the website for the MVP version of the website for me. So like I'm kind of excited about like the whole web development thing just because of the variety of ideas that I have that I can now bring to life. But I don't like kind of spiraled there. I like it though. But so just so these people can have our prediction, I know your prediction. My money's on Tyson. I believe you agreed with me on that one.
Absolutely.
So understand, we're calling that like now, and like, you know what? If we're wrong, we're gonna take that L and move on.
Well, I would be frankly very surprised, but
So would I.
suspect it's going to be something along the lines that Tyson is definitely, I feel, going to make an example out of him, but I think he's going to drag it out for a little bit, maybe. Maybe
I don't
I
think
would think mentally fuck with them. You know, make him regret the decision to fight him.
the reason why that doesn't work is because Tyson's not known for long fights.
I know, but
And the longer that
he's
you let
older
a fight
now.
go, yeah, but the longer, that's all the more reason it needs to be done quick. The
I
longer it
suppose.
goes on, the more it goes out of his favor. We just need Mike Tyson of old for one round. Ask him to do that for 10, 12 rounds. That's
No, no, I wasn't saying it go on that long, but I think that Paul might get a couple rounds, and then Tyson's gonna be like, "All right, I'm done." You know, bam.
Yeah, but like at that point, like the downside of that is you give them time to warm up, give them time to adjust to your be able to adjust to your strategy. It's combat. Like you want that done as quickly as possible. And Mike Tyson was the like he wrote the book on doing that. Like to go and try to write a different book at this time and age, I don't think that's a wise idea. Like it's like no matter how you look at it, if Tyson knocks him out in the first round, that's more embarrassing than him playing with him for a while.
Yeah,
It's
but I
just
mean,
like
at the same time, it would just be like, "Oh, well, you know, it was expected." You know, he
no, 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 no,
it might give Paul some room to be like, "Oh, well, you know, he just got a good hit on me." You know, like that proved nothing.
no, no. For Jake Paul, it just feels like there is a no-win. It's a no-win situation. You beat Mike Tyson. You beat a 58-year-old Mike Tyson. You lose to Mike Tyson. You lost to a fucking 50-year-old man. Like there is no like you let it go to if it gets to a decision, you couldn't finish Mike Tyson. Like you lose by decision, you just got your ass whooped by for rounds by my like. There is no winning area for fucking like. I don't see any positive upside to why fucking like. It makes no sense why Jake Paul wanted this. I don't understand. I wouldn't want, like I said at the beginning, I wouldn't want this fucking smoke. Like
Right.
it's an issue, a problem that like actually like actual fighters, and I mean actual fighters because like I'll give him props for getting into a ring and boxing with people, but let's be real, the only real boxer he fought was fucking Tommy Fury, and Tommy Fury beat his ass. Or was it Tyson? Like it was one of the Fury brothers. The point is, you lost, and from that, like Tyson is a completely different beat. Like Fury was a beast in his day, but like Tyson is the stuff of legends,
Yeah.
and he doesn't have to be Prime Tyson for years. He just has to channel that energy for one fucking fight,
Yeah.
one round, 2 rounds tops. If he channels old him and just drops Paul, like, and I mean, like, he does it like when he won the world championship for the first time, where he hit the guy kind of would try to get up, and like his body was just like, bruh, like we can't do this right now. Like you could see the spirit trying, but like the body just like, nah, bruh.
The spirit was willing, but the body couldn't go on.
Yeah, like the machine was like, we need a rest. Like, but it's gonna be interesting, and it'll be nice to actually do a live about an actual cultural event of this significant immediately after the event. I'm looking forward to like I said earlier, I'm just excited to see a Tyson fight. Like no matter the outcome, like it is what it is. We have no say in that. Like I can't like As much like I learned that on the 5th of November. I can hope for all I want. It is what it is, though. At the end of the day,
Indeed.
got to take what it is and move on. See what the day brings. You know, this is gonna be an interesting, like a whole ass interesting scenario. So like. I also want to know like what Netflix was thinking when they agreed to air this, because like
I
either
don't know.
which way, there's a legitimate risk of either person dying in this match. Like Mike Tyson is old, and Jake Paul is in the ring with fucking Mike Tyson, and Mike Tyson has stated the purpose of him wanting to do this is I want to hurt him. I haven't heard Mike Tyson say I want to hurt somebody since the '90s. I wouldn't want to be in a ring with somebody like I wouldn't want to be I wouldn't even want to be the referee in a ring with Mike Tyson wanting to hurt somebody.
Right?
Because
Accidentally get caught in the crossfire.
like not even that. Like when it's time to tell Mike stop, if he don't listen, what the fuck are they like? Yo, Mike, he done, bro. No, no, yo, my bad, bro. Like, just like he's done. Like he's dead. He's not even like unconscious. He's dead. Like it's a terrifying thought to be on for the whole Mike Tyson. Like we talk about aura. Like I can give off a dark and ominous, and like I can make people feel fear off of me in my immediate area. Like, but like that's general unease and curiosity. Like this motherfucker just oozes, like through a television, oozes murderous intent when he wants to hurt somebody. Mike Tyson, like I said, like I wouldn't want that smoke. It's not something I would. It's not something you could sign me up for.
And yeah, definitely.
Like I would fight Jake Paul. I would get into the ring with Jake Paul or Logan Paul. Wouldn't in my wildest dream ever think about getting into the like.
I would get into the ring and be like, "Hey, good luck, Mike. You're going to get this," and then get right fuck back out.
Yeah, like, and even then, like, nah, I don't even want to like. That, I don't want his gaze to fall on me before he's beaten that person's ass and let that malice out.
Right?
Like, cause like that, like some of his post-fight interviews were just wild. Like he'd sit here and be like, "Oh yeah, I just came out here to kill," like, and then he'd just be like, "I don't know, man. What'd you ask?" Like, Prime Mike Tyson was something else. Like, I don't think people understand that Mike Tyson was just straight up built different. Like,
Yeah.
we look at Mike Tyson and like even Prime Mike Tyson, like people often forget Mike Tyson was considered a small boxer in
Really?
his time. Yeah,
How tall is he?
because he's like 6 foot.
Damn, I thought he was a little taller than that. Like my height or something.
No, he's like 6 foot. Like I've watched a lot of shit on him over the years, and like that was one of the things that like they made a thing about early on. Is like he was considered like everybody was like, oh well, he's so small, and then like he boxed with people, and like like technically in a certain way for his size, he was kind of like. When he was 13, he went into a boxing gym and sparred with some people, and then they were all shocked to find out he was 13 because he was bodying grown ass men. Like, they just thought he was a small adult. Nah, he was a child at that point in time. And then, like, as he became adult, he was still just like a small ass dude. But he was the baddest motherfucker on the planet. And see, like when I think, yea, though I walk through the, like I think Mike Tyson. So if somebody says that I like, do you want like even if like I wouldn't have even done it if it was just like a charity exhibition fight, like had no standing, and not being a professional fight. Like no, I don't want in the fucking ring where Mike Tyson has gloves on and is coming at me in any way, shape, or form. I don't want it.
Nope.
But either which way, it's gonna be a good it's gonna be a good fight. I think it's gonna be a good time. I think regardless of the outcome, like we should be thankful that I think people of this age just need to be thankful that we're getting to see Mike Tyson fight.
Yeah.
Like, and we gotta see what the fight's gonna bring. Like, it's gonna be a fun experience because, like, generally I don't give a fuck about combat sports. I don't like combat sports. Like as a concept, just because I think it's bullshit. Because like all of these things have rules, and in a real fight, there's no rules. So like, I get it. It's a competition, but it's a competition of bastardized combat. But that being said, I think we've covered a mighty good branch of shit to discuss on this fine Wednesday. Like these people might actually get really lucky because, like, I think this is like a 2-hour episode. I'm gonna break it up and drop half today, and then drop
Sounds good.
fucking just give them a whole combat. Like it's like you get a 2-part episode that I'm not gonna hide and use it for Sunday's episode. No, you get it during the week. It's a bonus episode for y'all in honor of Mike Tyson hopefully knocking the fucking holy shit out of Jake Paul. Like actually, no, I do want to tell you about one thing that was funny. Like Logan Paul has his podcast, right?
Okay.
And he had his brother on it at one point in time, and they were talking about shit. And like Logan Paul had a WWE title, and like he was being disrespectful to his brother and his accomplishments in boxing. Because like I said, despite the fact that most of the people weren't real boxers, getting in and lacing up and going in with anybody is something to give somebody props. Like a lot of people won't do that. So I do have respect that he will get into a combat sport and do his thing. Logan Paul like sucked at the sport, so he decided to go to WWE. Then tried to talk shit about the time that his brother lost to one of the Fury brothers, who's kind of one of the top fighters in the world, was one of the top fighters in the world at the time, even though he was retired. Like, so, like, this guy was trying to sit here, like, Logan was trying to diss Jake, and Jake's like, bro, when was the last time you won a fight? Like, it wasn't scripted. Like, I fight real fights. Like, you play fight. Like, just buried him on his own podcast. But, like, that's why I don't like Logan. I'm like, man, you can't be happy for your brother's success. Like, I might not agree with, like, what he claims to have done for the business and everything. But at the end of the day, like I said, he gets in the ring. And he has taken the L, but he keeps on doing it again, I'll bet, against mostly non-boxers or retired boxers. The thing is, I just don't think, like, if Tyson knocks him out in the first 2 rounds, I don't think he can recover from that.
Right.
Like, it's like, oh, you beat all these other retired boxers, but then you can't beat a guy, like, 20, 30 years after his prime. So, like I said, it's going to be interesting. I kind of wish there was a decent boxing game where we might be able to like have Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. Where's that simulation game from Balboa? Damn it!
Right.
But that being said, I think we should wrap it for the day.
I just thought of it. When did you want to do that reaction video we were talking about?
We can probably get that recorded tomorrow. I just need to set up the secondary screen and shit over here.
Okay.
Figure out how I'm gonna organize shit because I think I have to wrap shit around shit. It's the second screen situation organized for tomorrow.
All right.
Like, cause there's the skibbity toilet shit that I wanted us to do, and then there's a couple other things that I was gonna show you and have you react.
Okay.
Like, there's some there's also some other YouTubers and podcasters that I want to point you to. That way, not so you have to follow but so you could get you could draw inspiration from how we can provide enhanced quality for our content.
Right.
General ideas for for other stuff we're going to be doing outside the podcast to explain more to give you a general idea of concept of what I'm talking about when I mention certain shit.
Right.
And then there's certain people I just want to see how you react to. I'm very curious.
All right.
But fan spiriters, as always, we appreciate y'all. Until next time, love, peace, and chicken grease.
Catch y'all later, guys.
Deuces. Ooses.